Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. We are live on YouTube.com. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is good old MF Mike Fletcher Jr. alongside my partners in crime, the ridiculously over good brother, Mr. Anthony Florio, the phenom, Michael Bullock, and the twisted angel, the lovely Dee Dee Woodson. And guys, we had Smackdown live tonight from Austin, Texas. Man, they always say they do it big in Texas. I think they did pretty well tonight on SmackDown Live, to say the very least. So we'll definitely get into it, no doubt about it. As always, we obviously during the week, especially, it's been a very emotional week in the state of Texas, with the recent passing of the former president of the United States, George Herbert Walker Bush, or as many people knows him as Bush 41. I never got a chance to give my thoughts and prayers to to the family, to Bush 43, or George Walker Bush, who is also president of the United States, and to his family and everybody else. My thoughts and prayers are with you guys in this incredible tough time that happened. As many of you know, he passed away at the age of 92. He's currently lying in state at the U.S. House of Representatives under the legendary dome. He'll be there for tomorrow. There's going to be a state funeral that will be held in Washington. Then his body will fly back to Texas, where he will be laid to rest on Thursday at the George Bush Library, which is near the Texas A&M University down in that end. So with that said, obviously, Matt, last night, Monday Night Raw did a tribute to him by tolling the bell 10 times. And they've been doing a lot of tributes and memories, not in just wrestling, but they honored him during in boxing, before Tyson Fury and DeAndre Wilder's big fight went down Saturday night at Staples Center. They tolled the bell 10 times. And there was a lot of moment of silence during football games this week. In hockey games, there was, especially in the United States, and in NBA games, they did a moment of silence for George Bush. So with that said, I wanted to give my thoughts and prayers to him as well, and wish him nothing but the best. So let's start it off, guys. We started it off with a big segment, one of the biggest segments of the night. Paige comes in, and we had a promo with Becky Lynch, Asuka, and Charlotte Flair to hype the three-woman triple threat for the SmackDown Live Women's title. It was interrupted by Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Basically, I guess you could say, for tonight, Absolution kind of came back together. But they did make a big announcement. Paige made a big announcement, which was that Charlotte and Asuka would team up and fight Absolution in a tag team match. So we had that, and when it was all said and done, the winners of the bout, unfortunately, I don't have a time here, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville wins. Well. How about that? All right. So Sonya Deville gets the win, basically pinning Charlotte Flair after basically there was a little miscommunication between Asuka and Charlotte. Basically, Asuka, I guess they're saying, deliberately kicked Charlotte, and that caused the 1, 2, 3. But whatever the case may be, definitely tension between Charlotte and Asuka, no doubt about it, because you're trying to hype the triple threat for the women's title. And maybe for one night, they buried the hatchet between Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, because it seems like they are on a collision course for a major explosion. I mean, SmackDown Live goes front and center with the women right at Jump Street, and I gotta say it, they did a tremendous job. Well done by the ladies. Solid match. And the opening segment was just straight lit, man. I mean, this was amazing. Everybody loves Becky Lynch. Nothing's new there. I think this is gonna. It definitely has the makings of being one of the best women's title fights that we've had in a very long time. My interest is at a fevered pitch right now. Just like I believe Anthony will agree, Michael Bullock will agree, and Dee Dee Woodson, our resident expert in the women's division. I think they SmackDown Live has been hitting a home run when it comes to building this match. Anthony Floyo, come on in, my friend. Give me your thoughts. What did you think?
Well, I'll tell you, MF. I mean, what a way to start off SmackDown Live this evening. I said it to Dee Dee Woodson last night on Ridiculously Raw. I mean, there were 2 segments on this show that they hyped in advance. This was one of them. We'll get to the other one later. And I said that both of those segments alone were going to be better than that yet again dumpster fire of a Monday Night Raw. And look what happens here. I mean, is it any surprise that all 3 of these women delivered here? No, not at all. I kind of wanted to see a little bit of some physicality here because, you know, as Bullock and I always say, with contract signings, they don't end well. And I was expecting this one not to end well. I mean, they got in there, they got in each other's faces. You know, that was awesome. I mean, yeah, I mean, everybody was great here. I mean, bringing up past history. I mean, Charlotte bringing up the fact that she beat Asuka at WrestleMania and ended her epic undefeated streak. And Asuka brought up the fact that Charlotte, you know, lost to Becky Lynch and the whole 9 yards. So, yeah, I mean, this went off great. I would have liked to have seen some physicality. That's my only little nitpick, but that's all I can say there. And then we ended up having a match here. We ended up having a tag team match, you know, holla holla, Teddy Long. You know, what his mantra always was, either a tag team match or one-on-one with The Undertaker. Leia, holla. So, the segment, I would say the segment was the second best segment of the night. There was one, I mean, the other segment to me was the segment of the night, and I'm going to get into that in a bit. But as far as the match, 2.5 to 3 stars. That's the rating Bullock and I gave it. Yes, Bullock and I, for the first time in a while, had one of our chats this evening. We had a SmackDown Live chat, and we agreed that 2.5 to 3 was the correct rating for the bout. I mean, it was honestly great. Absolution. Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, they're getting so much better in the ring. And Charlotte and Asuka were phenomenal as always. Another great showing from the SmackDown women's division. So I don't know what else there is to say for me. So I would probably say both of these were the second best. The segment was the second best of the night. The match, I would probably say maybe the second or third best fight of the night. So 2.5 to 3 for the match. So nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, come on in. We agreed 2.5 to 3 was the correct rating for the match.
Yeah, and as far as the segment goes, I mean, I thought it was perfectly done, and I had to give it probably the second best segment of the night. I mean, this was good that they actually had the women kick off SmackDown Live, and I liked the nice back and forth, and especially with Charlotte saying, I beat you at WrestleMania and ended your streak," and Asuka bringing the fact that she's lost to Becky Lynch, and even saying how Becky has never beaten me, but Becky Lynch basically saying, "You know what? Both of you couldn't beat Ronda Rousey, and neither one of you can beat me." So she just signed the contract and then walked away. So yeah, and then Mandy and Sonya had a little gripe, and that's when the tag team match was made. So I think the reason why there was no physicality in this, like thought we were going to get with these contract signings, is I think you want to protect both superstars before their match at TLC. So that's just pretty much the reason why I see it. Why we didn't get any physicality. So, and as far as the match goes, yes, 2.5 to 3, and yeah, and I guess for one night only, you have Mandy and Sonya on the same page, and yeah, a little miscommunication, but we think Asuka did it on purpose. So, I mean, basically, yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more to say. So, Dee Woodson, come on in, give us your thoughts on everything that went down.
Definitely an awesome way to start off SmackDown Live. They don't normally start with a segment like this where they're having a contract signing, but this seemed to fit very well right here. Definitely was progression in the storyline, which is what we needed to build this TLC match. Each lady made a valid point. Asuka and Becky, they really don't have much of a history there, but Charlotte beat Asuka and Becky beat Charlotte. So yeah, I mean you've got a lot of tension between them all, and and Asuka's kind of like the wild card in this. So yeah, it's going to be a very exciting match when we get to TLC. But this was definitely something that gives you enough fuel to really make you really want to see this match. Then you get the tag match after Mandy and Sonya come out, and that match was going really, really well until Charlotte kicked Asuka, which basically we're taking a page out of the Daniel Bryan AJ Styles book where I accidentally kick you, so you accidentally kick me, type thing, which you could pretty much could kind of expect that Asuka and Charlotte were going to implode, because you have a good guy teaming with a bad guy, and that doesn't always work out. So, not surprised how that turned out. I'm going to give the match probably about 2.5 stars. It was a very well done match, and gave you a lot, to kind of chew on as you think about what's going to happen as we approach TLC. So not much more I'm going to say about it. Fletch, I toss it to you.
All right, and we dive right into the first fight of the night, and it was a triple threat match. That's right, a triple threat match. 3 tag teams, 1 individual from each team to go at it, as it was representing the New Day. Xavier Woods representing the Usos is Jey Uso, and representing the Bar, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, it was the Sicilian, well, I should say the Swiss Superman, Cesaro. When it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in about 9 minutes, Jey Uso gets the Duke for the Usos, wins the match as he pins. It looks like he pinned Xavier Woods. So actually, no, he pinned Cesaro to get the win. So Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
Fight of the night, MF, right here. I'm giving this a solid 4 stars. I was gonna give it 3.5, but what bumped it up to 4 for me, near the end of the match, did you see the latest redonkulous feat of strength by Antonio Cesaro? An airplane spin and a Cesaro swing at the same time.
We were swinging tonight.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, we weren't in. Too bad we weren't in Hollywood. We could have said Hollywood swinging. But
we were swinging away.
We were in We were in Austin. He was bucking some Broncos. Yeah, that's what he was doing. So
swinging a lasso like a cowboy tonight.
Oh, you got to go out of your way to see this, folks. I mean, if you can find it, if you can find it on WWE's YouTube channel or our friend Luigi PS3. I mean, I hope she was recording at that moment because I want to see. I bet she lost her mind, as we all did. Bullock and I, during our SmackDown chat, we lost our minds when we saw this. I mean, Cesaro is not human. That's all there is to say on that. An airplane spin and a Cesaro swing at the exact same time. You wonder why Corey Graves refers to him as the Swiss cyborg. That's exactly why right there. That was unbelievable. And that's why I took the match rating from 3.5 up to 4 for that alone. Incredible. The match was well done. I mean, the action was fantastic. And it was announced that at TLC, the Bar will defend the SmackDown Tag Team Championship in a triple threat match against both the Usos and the New Day. You thought this was great tonight? Imagine what it's going to be like 10 nights from now, or I should say 12 nights from now, at the TLC pay-per-view at the Shark Tank in San Jose, when these three teams throw down. I got a feeling TLC could go down as another one of the best pay-per-views of the year. When you have the caliber of Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Asuka in a TLC match for the SmackDown Women's Championship, you got this epic match here. You got the WWE Championship match, which we're going to get into later. I mean, and believe it or not, there are 2 matches that have potential on the Raw side. That is, of course, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. And another one that I think has potential, if booked correctly, big if, Finn Balor and Drew McIntyre. So there's reasons. Those are 5 reasons alone to tune into this show right here. So that's all there is to say on that. But to sum it all up, when it comes to this match, great, fun, fast, all around great. 3.5 to 4 stars. Fight of the night. I don't care what anybody says. Nothing more to say here. So, Michael Bullock, come on back in. I mean, when we saw what Cesaro did towards the end of that match, I'm still in awe over that. An airplane spin and a Cesaro swing at the same time. How do you do that?
Only with the feat of strength that Cesaro has. I mean, that was just freaking crazy when we saw him do that airplane spin and the Cesaro swing at the same time. Woo! If that doesn't prove why this man is so strong, I don't know what will. So, yeah, 3.5 to 4. This was definitely the fight of the night, no doubt. All 3 of these men I thought were awesome. And, yeah, I mean, the action was good. I mean, if you thought the match we saw tonight was good, I think the triple threat for the SmackDown Tag Team titles involving these 3 teams, it's going to be awesome. So, yeah, nothing more to say. 3.5 to 4 fight of the night. So let's move on to D.D. Woodson.
Yeah, I'll agree with the rating. And, this is another one that, SmackDown's notorious for, building the storyline. And they definitely did it here with having, all 3 teams represented in one match. And yeah, I mean, Cesaro doing that, I mean, that not much you can say about that. I mean, that was just one of those amazing feats that they throw in every so often, and very carefully you have to lift the one on your shoulders as you start to swing the other one, and wow, it's just amazing. But still did not pull off the win for his team. Gave the Usos a very big boost as we grow just that much closer to TLC. So, yeah, not much more I'm going to say about it. Very well done match. and another one that's really making you look forward to the upcoming pay-per-view. So, Fletch, it's yours.
All right, and we do move on with the show. The next thing we had was Miz TV, but before we get there, the Miz was standing in the ring, was about to start the show, gets interrupted by R-Truth and Carmella just to do a dance break. Then they roll out of the ring. Okay, that's your funny ha-ha moment of the night. Seems like the Monkey Writers got on to Smackdown Live just for a brief moment. Don't worry. That's probably the only bad moment of the night. So, but it's always good to see Carmella dance. I mean, oh my lord. God bless that girl. Anyway, and Didi was just probably saying, Mike, shut up and move on. Next thing we had was The Miz introducing and bringing out the WWE Champion, the new Daniel Bryan. And Michael Bullock, this must be a heartbreaking moment for you because he just admitted it for the whole world. The Yes Movement is dead. Goodbye. Sayonara. It is dead and buried 6 feet under. And I couldn't be more proud of that moment. Thank you, Daniel, for realizing the light more than anything else. But he was interrupted by AJ Styles, and it actually led to our main event of the evening. But until then, Michael Bullock, oh man, I'm loving this new Daniel Bryan heel character, and I know this must have been a tough pill to swallow for you and Florio, since you guys were the president and vice president of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement. That must have been the most devastating words to hear coming out of Daniel Bryan's mouth tonight.
Well, I'll tell you this, Fletch. I'll tell you this right now. I mean, after he said that, I think me and Florio, we put in our resignation. We said, screw you, Daniel Bryan. We don't want to be part of your new, whatever your attitude is. But, yeah, this was a good segment. I mean, The Miz trying to get to the bottom of the whole thing, trying to find out why Daniel Bryan is like this. But Daniel is basically, well, as JR would like to say, crazier than a pet coon. I mean, with some of the things he said, including one thing that really got me and Florio laughing. And what was that word, Florio?
Fickle.
Fickle! And I'm like, oh my gosh. But AJ Styles came out and he wanted to rip Daniel Bryan apart. He got in some shots on him, but The Miz had the final say and got the skull-crushing finale on him. So, man, I mean, this new Daniel Bryan, I think we're all going to have to get used to it. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's nothing more to say. I mean, to me, I have to say this was the segment of the night. So, Didi Whitson, I give it to you.
Yeah, this definitely was the segment of the night. And Daniel, you just stole the word that we use to describe my youngest son. He's Mickle the Fickle Pickle. So you just stole my fickle off that little phrase. So we'll have to see what happens with that one. Yeah, the new word. We go from yes to fickles. Okay. Whatever. But this definitely was a segment of the night. You know, Truth and Carmella coming in kind of lightened the moment, but still, I mean, you had all hell break loose there at the end, and you know, Miz trying to get Daniel to admit that he listened to him, which that you can put an argument there that maybe Daniel did, but subconsciously it just doesn't want to admit it. However you want to say, it went from trying to talk about the new Daniel Bryan and trying to talk about him being champion to water bottles and methane gas and all this other environmental stuff, because we all know Daniel Bryan's a big environmentalist, and I think that was another little mini comical moment in there. And then of course him doing the yes no at the end, really ticking Miz off, shoving Miz into AJ when AJ comes out. Definitely Daniel is taking a page out of Miz's book, whether he wants to admit it or not. But still, very well done segment. Yeah, it leads to something later on in the night, but it was very well done. Still, like I've been harping for the whole show, and we harp every week. Another reason SmackDown is the better product. Everything is tied to storyline building and promoting, the pay-per-view coming up, whatever that pay-per-view would be for whatever week this is. Well, this one just happens to be TLC. I mean, we've had, pay-per-views in the past. SmackDown's notorious for it, and this no different. This was a good way to harp the AJ and Daniel Bryan match, and of course they're not done harping that yet, as we'll find out later on in the night. But awesome segment. You see Miz come out for Miz TV, and you that's one thing a lot of people who don't like Miz dreads, but this actually was a very good segment, because for some reason Miz is going the comical way after earlier in the night trying to be an ass kisser to Shane McMahon, and here he is out here now almost doing the same thing to Daniel Bryan. So not much more I'm going to say about it. Fletch, do I toss it to you or do I toss it to Florio?
I'll take it for a spin, Didi. So yeah, absolutely, guys. You've been nailing it all night. Daniel Bryan, absolutely on money. A lot of people didn't know what to expect from him, especially when he turned heel. Guys, Daniel Bryan is gonna become a monster heel. He is going to be one of the best heels in WWE. I can already feel it. He wanted it to go heel. He got the opportunity. Vince McMahon decided, all right, I'll do it. I'll put the title on you, and I'll make you a full-fledged heel. And let me tell you, it's coming back in spades. The Yes movement is dead. A new attitude, a new era has begun. This new Daniel Bryan, I'm going to tell you guys, I am falling in love with the new Daniel Bryan. I was so anti Daniel Bryan, the Yes movement and all that stuff, because you could tell I'm a more of the authority guy. I'm more of a Triple H guy. I'm more of a Randy Orton guy. I'm definitely more in line with them than I was with Daniel Bryan. And now Daniel Bryan basically spitting in the face of his fans, Anthony Florio, Michael Bullock, the guys who were so loyal to him, by literally saying that the old Daniel Bryan is gone, that the Yes movement is dead. He's really conformed to a more evil, a more sadistic, a more twisted Daniel Bryan. And let me tell you guys, this is a little taste of the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson from Ring of Honor. I see a little bit of sadistic. He was never this two-faced type of character. But if you know Bryan Danielson, he didn't give a you-know-what. He gave 0 Fs, and he actually would spit on the face of the fans, talk down to them. He would never say fickle. He would say that you guys were stupid bleeps. And sometimes that worked, and other times people just hated him for that. What I see is a little bit of that Bryan Danielson coming out. Now, they're doing it in a more twisted PG way, but I'm loving it. And it's working. Keep it up. Honest to God, this is probably his best work right now. Ever since his, Occupy Raw and the road to WrestleMania, that WrestleMania 30 that led to the Bourbon Street Miracle, where the Miracle on Bourbon Street and all that, this is gonna become the focal point for Daniel Bryan going into 2019, because I believe if this is the angle that they're gonna work with, if this is where they're gonna keep him, I'm telling you right now, he's gonna be the most hated in 2019, and this could put him in line to be one of the top heels in WWE. Unbelievable job. I love it. Anthony Florio, segment of the night. And for me, it's a dream come true seeing this side of Daniel Bryan than the yes man.
If I was a babyface commentator, I would channel what Vince McMahon said at the 1994 Survivor Series. 3 little words. I feel betrayed. That's what I would have said. Okay, that's done. And Meth, I'm right there with you. I mean, I never got to see Daniel Bryan when he was Bryan Danielson as the American Dragon in Ring of Honor. I didn't get to see that because I, didn't know of the product and I didn't even watch the product. I should have. But, yes, I mean, we had our fun with the yes movements. We'll always have WrestleMania 30. That's that whole thing. But this was the segment of the night, hands down. And Daniel Bryan, to me, was the MVP of this show here tonight. I mean, he's the one who asked for the heel turn. He was the one who asked. He pitched it. He wanted the heel turn. He pitched it over a month ago. And then Vinnie Mac decided to pull the trigger on 3 weeks ago on the Go Home show for Survivor Series. And, just to go for that big impact moment. Well, that's one thing he actually did right. Yeah, when are we going to have a big impact moment on Raw? Not anytime soon. Don't hold your breath. But anyways, this was something that I didn't know I wanted, but it just works so well. Daniel Bryan and The Miz have always meshed so well in their storylines together. But now that they're both heels, their banner is as good as it's ever been. That's all there is to say on that. I mean, the fickle thing, that's gonna stick with me. I mean, when Bullock and I had our SmackDown chat, I mean, I couldn't stop saying it. I was in that mode. I was doing the fickle. Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly right. I mean, that's gonna be my favorite part of the whole thing when he does the fickle thing. But going into about how he obviously brought up his his vegan environmentalist lifestyle that he lives, quoted Alexander Hamilton, and just ripped on the fans for doing the what chants. And I mean, full-fledged heel Daniel Bryan. I mean, this was absolutely amazing. This was absolutely fantastic. And MF is absolutely right. You thought what he did a couple weeks ago was great? No, this was a home run tonight. He absolutely nailed it, absolutely knocked it out. And, I'll be honest, there was that part of me that was hoping that AJ would have held the title going into WrestleMania and then have Daniel Bryan win the Royal Rumble and then have Daniel Bryan win the title and then, keep him as a babyface, not turn him heel and, go for that big comeback moment, that great comeback story moment. That would have been epic. But this is even more epic. So go figure. I mean, yeah, there is a part of me that's still hurting a little bit. But more words of Bautista, we got to deal with it. And I'm going to deal with it. So Absolutely well done. This was the segment of the night, hands down. This was the other segment they promoted in advance on last night's Raw, and I said this was going to be epic, and he did it again. Home run, and this heel Daniel Bryan, just incredible. So, we just got to wonder, I mean, how long is he going to hold that thing? I mean, I would not be surprised if he goes into Mania with it. Could they give him an even longer reign than AJ? Who knows? That's a possibility. I would not be against it. So that's all there is to it. So well done. No doubt about it. This was the segment of the night. And to all you out there who don't like it, fickle. Move on. Fickle.
Oh boy. It looks like Daniel Bryan's created a monster, and Anthony Flair might be running with that line, that tagline. So who knows? I might be having to deal with that every Tuesday night from now on. I don't know. We'll see. All right. With that said, we move right along here tonight as we had a singles match, 1-on-1, as it was Randy Orton 1-on-1 with Jeff Hardy. Yes, the rivalry is renewed, and once it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 9 minutes and 5 seconds, Randy Orton, because Samoa Joe basically cut a promo on the Titantron, distracting Jeff Hardy long enough where Randy Orton RKO out of nowhere. So, all right, who leads off on this? I believe this goes to Dee. Is it? It's yours, my love. So, Orton versus Jeff Hardy. It looks like a more storyline progression as it leads to Jeff Hardy and Samoa Joe.
Yeah, this was a pretty good match, but overall, most everybody is kind of over this. We've already had this feud. We already had Orton desecrate Jeff, and now here he's doing it again. Not too sure why. They've had so many matches over the years. It felt like a lazy best of compilation. The finish was flat, but at the same time, throwing Joe into it the way they did, with the promo, that's the part that actually progressed the storyline. Him costing Jeff the match, and Joe, just still coming out to be the same spectacular, a-hole that he's been, like he was with Styles. I'm going to give this 2 3/4 of a star. And then after the match is over, Joe continues to cut almost like a PSA type promo about drinking and kind of at the same time mocking Jeff Hardy's past DUI issues. That was kind of weird, but it's almost like, the government said, okay, WWE, it's your turn to give us a PSA show. So this was your PSA moment for Raw or for Smackdown for WWE. Don't drink and drive. Don't, limit your drinking so that you don't go out there and cause an accident or, get caught, weaving in and out of lanes and stuff like that. So, I think all of us we are ready for the new feud with Jeff and Joe, and this having Randy facing Jeff, I think that was just kind of another overkill. So for me, this would be by default the worst fight of the night, just because it's an overkill. We're getting the same match we got like a month or so ago, or a couple of months ago. But at the same time, yeah, the promo definitely storyline progression. So not much more I'm going to say about it. Fletch, it's yours.
right about this, D.D. Woodson. And the one thing that WWE is notorious for doing is doing things repetitive. And like Anthony and you've been harping, especially on Monday Night Raw, too much repetitiveness. At least tonight on SmackDown, there were some fresh stuff. Now, yeah, there was a little bit of some repetitive moments. The tag team thing was pretty repetitive, but Asuka versus Charlotte versus Absolution, I think that's somewhat new. There is some fresh moments there tonight that makes this really solid, but this was definitely the low light of the night. We've seen this match before. We've seen it countless times. We know how the story goes. But to add Joe to the element this time around gives it at least a little bit of a fresh look, but not much. But still, Randy wins the match by RKO. Jeff got caught because of the fact that he was so preoccupied with Joe after he appeared on the Tron, but it ended up costing him anyway. So, solid fight. Yeah, about 2.25, 2.5. That's the best I can do. But like you said, the best moment was after the match with Joe absolutely annihilating Jeff Hardy with that promo. Like she said, that PSA bomb that went off by Joe went very personal, very, very personal. He went there tonight. That's also a staple of SmackDown Live, going there when they don't necessarily need to. So, Anthony Florio, it's all yours.
Everybody got it right. Yes, this was the worst fight of the night. Even though it was good, I mean, it was fine. 2 to 2.5 for the effort. I mean, this was the only real repetitive moment that you had on SmackDown Live. And, yep, that's another thing SmackDown Live is known for. Not just storyline progression, but also going there. And they did that with Samoa Joe's little PSA on Jeff Hardy. And I expect more of this in the weeks to come. So that's all I can say on that. I mean, solid match. I mean, nothing to really write home about, but, it was a solid match, but not overly spectacular. They've had better matches, and this wasn't really one of them. It was fine, but that's it. So 2 to 2.5, by default, the worst fight of the night. So, Bullock, let's get a quick thought from you here.
Yeah, 2.5. I mean, yeah, this was probably like the only low light of the show. I mean, the match was good, but as you guys mentioned, it's repetitiveness. I mean, but they did add a little bit of a factor with the Samoa Joe thing, and yeah, after the match, cutting another scathing promo about Jeff Hardy's drinking issues from the past. And like Florio said, SmackDown Live has been known for going there, and that's what Joe did. So, yeah, nothing more to say. So let's move right along, Fletch.
It is now time for the main event of the evening. Former WWE champion, the phenomenal AJ Styles, goes one-on-one with The Miz, as this was actually pertains to earlier in the night on Miz TV, where The Miz attacked AJ Styles after AJ tried to get his hands on Daniel Bryan. Well, the new Daniel Bryan. The next thing we know is that, it is what it is and the whole 9 yards. And when it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 13 minutes and 10 seconds via submission, thanks to the calf crusher, the phenomenal AJ Styles. He wins the match. And then once the fight was over, Daniel Bryan, the new Daniel Bryan, comes in and absolutely just goes to town on WWE, on AJ Styles. Definitely a beatdown and a half. And yeah, you know what? He did it at the end, calling him fickle. This was a tremendous match. Good, solid main event. TV quality, you can say 3.5 stars for me. the second best fight of the night because of the fact that the triple threat was even better. So, but this was a solid match. Great job by AJ and The Miz and Daniel Bryan. Anthony said it, the MVP of the night, with the beatdown at the end, standing tall as WWE champion. And this was after AJ ripped on Daniel Bryan, calling him another Brock Lesnar. AJ, Daniel's not Lesnar. At least he shows up for. Where the hell's Lesnar been since he's won the Universal title? Or maybe one or two appearances, but other than that, nope. So we'll see what happens there. They definitely added more fuel to the fire to their WWE Championship match at TLC. Anthony Florio, it's all yours, my friend.
You want to know where Brock Lesnar is, MF? I'll tell you exactly where he is. He's sitting at home. He's sitting at home on his ass, on his lazy ass, counting his damn money. Or another thing he's been doing lately, swimming around in a pool full of money like friggin' Scrooge McDuck. That's where Brock Lesnar is. Period. End of discussion. Now, as far as this goes, this main event goes, I agree. This was the second best fight of the night. This was a solid 3.5 stars. This was a well-wrestled match. But I got to be honest with you. Daniel Bryan on commentary was so fun and entertaining. I tried to listen to every word he was saying. And he absolutely went to town on Byron Saxton. It was so hilarious. Oh, man. For all the times that, we always got to laugh out of whenever Corey Graves would go off on Saxton, the whole shut up Saxton bit and all that. Daniel Bryan absolutely tore Saxton a new one, and I freaking loved it. So I gotta get off my little pedestal here, but I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing at the way he went after Saxton. Savage, awesome. But anyways, the more we put it all together, I think the more we have to start appreciating Daniel Bryan as a heel. I mean, sometimes we forget that a heel is not supposed to be super over. He's supposed to make you hate him. And if you hate him, that doesn't mean he's supposed to change. If we hate him, he's doing his job. That's all there is to say on that. And to sum it all up, when it comes to Daniel Bryan, he's a legend right now. He is a legend. He's actually getting people to boo books. Yeah. And this heel Daniel Bryan is so much more entertaining. He is amazing. He has completely reinvented himself overnight. He's the best he's the best in the game right now. Absolutely brilliant. And I got to tell you, every wrestler can learn from his example. Always be open to change. Always evolve yourself. Always grow. And I cannot wait for his matches and how he wrestles them. That's all I can say on that. So you want to know why he was the MVP? The Miz TV segment, the fickle, going off on Saxton, putting Saxton in his place, epic, and then the beatdown of AJ at the end, just amazing. I mean, when we saw, Bryan was heel a number of years ago, when just before the whole yes thing started. I mean, he was an okay heel at that moment, but I think he's doing his best heel work yet. And I think tonight was his personal best work. That's all I can say on that. Everything I just said, I want you all to meditate and think about that. So, nothing more to say. 3.5 stars, second best fight of the night, but the MVP of this night, without question, the new Daniel Bryan. And like I said, for all of you who don't like it, fickle. Bullock, move on. Move on to Bullock.
Oh boy. Yeah, 3.5 stars, definitely the fight of the night with AJ Styles and the Miz. I mean, the second best fight of the night. I'm still getting with this whole fickle thing that we heard tonight, but yeah, I agree with everything that Florio just mentioned. I mean, Daniel Bryan to me was the MVP of tonight's SmackDown Live. I mean, with the segment and the beatdown of AJ Styles. I mean, he's really looking like an ultimate heel right now. So there's really nothing more to say. So 3.5 stars. So I give it to you, Didi Whitson. I'm sorry, I'm just getting this whole fickle thing that's stuck in my head. I need to get it out.
Oh, that's not going to be easy to do. Trust me. Once you get something stuck in your head, it stays. And it doesn't matter what it is, from Florio's fickle he's picked up to, even a catchy tune song. No, I'll agree with the rating. It was definitely a 3.5-star match. And even with, Daniel trying to get involved and trying to distract, AJ still pulls off the win in the end, because Daniel failed miserably trying to help Miz out. And the beatdown at the end, I mean, that was, kind of like the icing on the cake for this match. Very well done. Miz and Styles has a lot of chemistry together. And they pretty much kind of proved it tonight that they work very well off of each other. And then adding the combustible of Daniel Bryan on the outside, just even though, like I said, he tried to interfere, failed miserably. It's still it all still worked out in the end, and still played into the storyline just that much more, just giving you that much more fuel to wanting to get into this match when it hits TLC. So yeah, awesome match. Yeah, this new Daniel Bryan as the heel, definitely. I guess you could say it's a little bit of a breath of fresh air to see the change up, because you have so many guys that either want a change up and can't have it, or their product gets stale. Daniel fought for this one. He got this one, and and he's making it work, and he's showing that you can be a heel, you can be annoying, but you can still be that good at it, and get the reaction you're wanting from the fans, and that heat, and no matter what comes out of it, this he was definitely what you guys said, the MVP of the night. Definitely pulled off and put the bow on SmackDown tonight, and great way to end what definitely was a very well done SmackDown. So Fletch, I'm going to hand it to you so you can put the bow on it.
All right, and it's now time for the overall review. Anthony Florio, you lead off, my friend. What did you think of SmackDown Live tonight from Austin, Texas?
Hook 'em horns, 9 out of 10. That's all there is to say. 9 out of 10. I mean, Daniel Bryan, the MVP. That's been well documented here tonight. That triple threat match with the Uso, the New Day, and Cesaro. I mean, that was the fight of the night by a smidge. I mean, I gave it 4 stars mainly because of what Cesaro did with his latest redonkulous feat of strength. And then the main event with AJ Styles and The Miz, that was the second best fight of the night. Yes, sorry to mention that, Didi Whitson, but that is where we were tonight, so I had to mention it. But it's what SmackDown Live did tonight. SmackDown Live hooked Raw again. What else is new? But anyways, AJ and The Miz, second best fight of the night, 3.5 stars. And that opening tag team match, that women's tag team match, I mean, that was 2.5 to 3. Those are your top 3 fights of the night. I mean, I recommend watching the whole show. The only thing I'm a little iffy about was the Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton thing. But other than that, any fan of this show tonight will want to look back on December 4th, 2018 as the night that Daniel Bryan, the new Daniel Bryan, arrived as a mega heel. He's getting a monster push here, folks. He's getting a monster heel. He got a monster heel push here tonight. And just everything he did tonight. I mean, it was an awesome finish to the show. And Bryan getting that monster heel push. I'm very excited to see where this goes. And that's all there is to say on that. So Becky Lynch is back. Asuka's a storyline again, temporarily. Enjoy it while it lasts. Miz and Shane McMahon have good comedic chemistry. Daniel Bryan is your heel champion. Any SmackDown Live with any WWE fan nowadays would be saying, I'm over Raw. I'm all for SmackDown Live. And that's all there is. That's really, I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, can we officially label the new Daniel Bryan as the best thing to ever be labeled the new in wrestling? That's all I can say on that. So, they're giving us characters. SmackDown Live is giving us characters that we want to love and hate. Stone Cold Becky Lynch, the Enforcer Charlotte Flair. They're calling Daniel, some have gone on the social media and called Daniel Bryan as a Green Party candidate / grunge rocker. And Samoa Joe, the perpetual pot stirrer. Hollywood star The Miz, and so many others that we can mention. SmackDown Live is giving you actual characters that you want to love and hate. Period. End of quotation. End of statement. This was a 9 out of 10. If the Hardy and Orton thing had been a little bit better, then we would have been talking a perfect 10. But I can only give it a 9 out of 10. But this was a damn good SmackDown Live. Daniel Bryan, in the immortal words of Luigi PS3, savage. So I can't wait to see what the Luge has to say about all this. So, and tonight's edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk and SmackDown Live brought to you by the word fickle. Bullock, wrap it up. 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I don't know what else is there to say. I mean, 9 out of 10. Yeah, I mean, everything on this show was good tonight. I mean, yeah, that Orton and Hardy match had been just a little bit better. We could have given it a perfect 10, but all in all, still a good show. 9 out of 10. Did Dee already talk about it, Fletch?
No.
Nope.
Oh, all right. So I give it to you then. I'm still freaking stuck with that fickle thing.
Yeah, definitely 9 out of 10. Very well done show. SmackDown again proving why they should be the A show over Raw. Why they,
They are the A show as far as I'm concerned.
why they grasped the audience so much, and why Survivor Series having Raw win everything was such a fluke. I mean, because over there, all you have is the Praise Corbin show, where over here you actually have, I know they call it the land of opportunity, but I mean, you've got awesome matches going on. I mean, yeah, Orton and Hardy, it might have been repetitive. It might have been kind of, kind of dull, lackluster, but still, you had the new element that they threw in it with Joe, even if it was just, the promo type stuff. So yeah, it was very well done. Yeah, it was from Longhorn country. Boo, hiss, Boomer Sooner all the way. Liked how the commentators, did mention the rivalry between the two states, but being from Oklahoma, we don't like Texas. So, yeah. But, yeah, it was definitely a 9 out of 10 show. Very well done. Very much storyline progression. SmackDown, keep up the good work. And keep giving us, those top matches and everything. So, I will see you guys next show. Good night.
So I'm guessing Dee Whitson was probably ecstatic that Oklahoma not only beat Texas in the Big 12 championship, but also is now a part of the college football playoff as well.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is I'm in Ohio, and the two that fought for that last spot was Oklahoma and Ohio.
And Ohio State. Yep,
and
Ohio State.
Just barely skinned through there, and I work in a I guess you can say it's assisted living with vets.
Yeah.
And one guy that I thought would be big on Ohio State, 'cause he always watches every Ohio State game, actually was excited that Oklahoma got in over Ohio State. I don't know why, but I guess that's
Well,
in the
I
end.
wish we still had I wish we were still doing college football Thursday, because I know Anthony, myself, and Mike Bullock has very interesting opinions about the college football playoff. And don't worry. I mean, it's not bad at all. You guys deserved it. You earned it. You did what you had to do. You handled your business. Congratulations for getting in. I think there's definitely some debate about who is worthy, but we'll get on that on another night when we do the preview of the national semifinals game. Of course, Oklahoma will now have the unenviable task to try to take down the number one team in the nation, the reigning and defending national champions, Alabama. But there might be a silver lining. What is Tua Tagovailoa's status for that Orange Bowl? Because he did get hurt in the SEC championship. Could that be the opening for Oklahoma to win? We'll have to find out. And then, of course, the other national semifinal game, the ACC champions and the number 2 overall seed, Clemson Tigers, against Anthony Florio and Derek Ferreras. I must note that. Notre Dame Fighting Irish, undefeated, 12-0, independent. There was even some debate, does Notre Dame deserve to be in the college football playoff? Absolutely, yes, they deserve to be there. I mean, when you go undefeated and with the way that they played, they deserve their spot. So we'll get into that right around the new year. Oh,
my last comment on it before I head out.
Sure.
The one thing Kevin had noted to me, because I didn't follow the actual schedule of the two teams because I'm at work on Saturday for 12 hours.
Yeah.
I only get a chance to kind of walk by the TV every so often to see whatever the guys there at the house is watching. But he said Oklahoma actually had a little bit tougher of a schedule than Ohio State, and that he thinks that's probably why Oklahoma won the spot over Ohio State. So,
and plus there was also the fact that Ohio State got absolutely manhandled by Purdue, and when Oklahoma lost to Texas the first time around, they lost on a last-second field. They actually lost on a field goal at the buzzer. So I mean, quality of the loss, no harm, no foul. So I could understand that as well. All right.
And them getting hit hard right now, Ohio State, with everything going on, losing a guy who's confirmed to come in and their coach retiring. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm out.
All right.
Good night.
Good night, my love, and thank you as always. All right, guys. So, like I said, it's time for the Mikey's Mindset, and I was going to talk about the SWF, the Anarchy Show. It went down this past Saturday night from the Anarchy Dome in Los Angeles, California. And here we go. It was 3 fights on the fight card. First fight of the night, it was for the women's championship. The reigning champion, Tina Andrews, puts the title on the line against Jade West in a no-holds-barred fight. When it was all said and done, Tina Andrews successfully wins the title and keeps the title, and more or less she said she wanted a challenger, a new challenge. Well, we'll see what happens. The management's going to have to come up with somebody there. Then we had the Battle Royale. The winner of the fight would get the opportunity down the line at the Anarchy World title. The winner of the bout was Cliff O'Crank. Last man standing, he wins it all, and he gets the golden ticket, number 1 contender for the Anarchy Championship. The main event, Jake Foss, the Phoenix Jake Foss, versus Chris Orton for the Anarchy World Championship in a Hell in a Cell match. The winner of the bout and new Anarchy champion, the Phoenix. Jake Foss wins the title. Unbelievable show. Next week, I'll set the table for you guys as the next show is 2 weeks from now. So next week, I'll give you the fight card, and from there, we will get going. All right, that's it. We're done for the night. Anthony Floyo, come on in. Why don't you hit me up with the future content? NFL Football Friday.
Strictly Sports NFL Friday night at 10:30, Week 14 edition. We got so many great matchups to get into. I mean, wow. Los Angeles Rams against the Chicago Bears. Philadelphia Eagles against the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, you got the Baltimore Ravens against the Kansas City Chiefs, the New England Patriots against the Miami Dolphins, the Indianapolis Colts against the Houston Texans, Minnesota Vikings, Seattle Seahawks. So many great games we're going to get into. Our newest power rankings. Hope you all will be here Friday night at 10:30. And then, of course, next Monday night, we're back to it all again. Ridiculously Raw, Smack Talk, and all that. So, the more to say on that. So, I only wish that Pee-wee's Playhouse was still in production because easily the word of the night would have been fickle. Ah!
Oh,
Wrap it up,
my
Have a good one.
freaking God. There's really nothing more to say
I'm
after
gonna
that.
have nightmares about that.
There's nothing more to say about that. Like the video, leave a comment at the bottom, share with all your friends on all the social media platforms. We'll see you guys on Friday night on the Tone 25. For Anthony Florio, for Michael Bullock, for Dee Woodson, I'm Mike Fletcher. Have a good night, everybody. So long for now. Hugs and hand pounds. We are out. Fickle. Good grief.